Okay. Oh, that's right. So that'd be 10 of them all. Oh, right. That's why this got added. It was because that was added with the TSO20.
That's right, because these are their own stories. Unfortunately, cutscenes are in the exact same way as the Persona games, where every individual instance of dialogue is just prefaced with some random sound effect, not actual voice acting.
Nani the fuck?
For real?
Oh, that's lovely. 200 miles per is the top speed on this thing. That's gonna do wonders for the gas mileage.
Jesus. So, basic plot synopsis already beat the story, which is funny because that makes this the first turn-based RPG I've ever actually beaten out of the 3 I've tried playing. This mirror is it's a magic mirror that basically one, it creates an alternate dimension inside of itself and it drags its owner in. Well, it's supposed to drag its owner in. I think it was like Yohane had the mirror when she was a child, threw it away, but because it was kind of bound to her in a sense, the mirror kind of created this sort of like evil Yohane, essentially. That was the personification of her adolescent desires to like be a better person, blah 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 blah, be like the ideal version of herself. But because this new version of her obviously doesn't do that in the proper way, and it basically just tries to draw Yohane in by creating night kids, essentially just your first boss fight is Shadow Hanamaru. There's no other way to describe it. It's literally just the shadows of the main characters. It's just that there's like one key component of their character that's flipped around on its end and made completely just wonky. And as long as these night wicked versions of a character persist in the mirror world, the real world version of that same person is basically getting poisoned to death. It's not said that way, it's draining their life force, but like that's just a really nice way of saying it.
Well, I mean, getting sent to the Shadow Realm was literally just dying. But you can't say die in a children's cartoon.
Yeah, there's literally a TV trope for that. So it's like, oh, we can't quite say that a character is going to die in this game, but we can say that their life force is being drained out of them, and somehow lifeless husk was allowed. I don't really see. I believe lifeless is just another word for dead, but sure. The interesting thing about the DLC stories is that they take place after the main story, in which Yohane defeated the evil version of herself. and all the other evil versions of everybody else, for that matter. So, theoretically, the mirror shouldn't have any power anymore. But Daya's still gonna try and go in there right now, anyway. He smashes me.
Just push me out, shall you?
I suppose Heures was randomly selected, so. Jesus Christ. That is a lot of health. The fuck? Did not know different characters are different dither display, different health values.
What do you mean you get to start with 8,000 life points? No fair.
No, 160, but the default on this difficulty is normally 100.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh!
I know. Trust me, I know because everything I explained it to, well, it kind of went both ways. Everything, because Cam does play Yu-Gi-Oh! So everything I explained to him about this game, he compared to a similar, or if not identical, mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! And anything that he tells me about Yu-Gi-Oh! Unprompted, I'll be like, oh, that's like this thing from Imazu and the Mirage. And just like, there's a reason why I call it Yu-Gi-Oh! For idiots. It doesn't have any of these convoluted, like, summon conditions or anything like that. It's literally just like, hey, this card does 7 damage and lowers their defense. Have fun. Or something to that degree.
Early Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a fucking mess. There's a whole bunch of concepts I got introduced like long after I lost interest in it that if I tried to get back into it now I'd be like, what the fuck? Okay, I can be a little less stingy with the fuel, I think.
Forgot about that.
I also don't like the look of them clouds. Nothing's coming up on the radar, but still.
Also, the mirror is the reason, like, that's where these cards come from. It's kind of another key component. Because without them, the characters are kind of helpless. So. I say helpless. Not really. Considering this is an alternate universe, the characters here are certainly a little more competent, at least in terms of, like, dealing with monsters and shit than they would ever be in Sunshine.
Well, it's almost like it's a completely different world and setting.
It's not a completely different one. It's more like a, well, they call it Sunshine in the Mirror, considering it's a pun on the fact that well, the spin-off anime is called that anyway, and the fact that this game also involves a mirror might be intentional, but it's still not related. So So it's like every character's like similar-ish to their original self, but there's like one thing that's changed dramatically that makes them, by extension, a completely different character.
Mm-hmm.
Example, Hanamaru, whose thing normally is she can't stop eating food. Here, her occupation is she runs a bakery. Or Daya, rather than being the student council president, because the characters in this spin-off are not in school, nor are they in an idol group at all. Um, but they also, like, you know, they're not an idol group, they're not in the school. So instead of being that, Daya is the chief of defense of the town, or in other words, basically just a police chief or captain or something. Her entire purpose is that she,
Pre-Guilty Gear
protects this.
Xrd Kaikisk.
I suppose, yeah. The point is, her entire she even has a lightning sword. Oh God.
So Kai from Guilty Gear XX to and back.
But he always had a lightning sword, even in Strive.
Well, no, the fact that he's okay. So before he became a king of Illyria, he was a cop.
Mm.
Ugh. Now, see, the laps are longer around here, but the thing is, I actually don't feel like this is a slog.
Because you know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, it's not like I didn't know what I was doing at St. Croix, it's just Le Mans is infinitely more interesting.
I didn't need that.
Maybe kicking it down to 1 wasn't a good idea. I just need to get this down to make this last to like 20%. Then dive into the pits. Then change tires and refuel, and then we're cruising for the rest of the race.
Okay, so we're not allowed to say die in this game, but we can have a card named Hellzone. Ow, the edge.
Where's that damn fourth idol?
There's no MacGuffin in this game, otherwise I would correct that, but...
Well, look, I made an effort, okay?
I don't know, I'm saying, I would have, I'm saying, like, I would have filled in the blanks, there's nothing to fill it in with.
I was attempting to cook. Yeah, no, setting the fuel to 1 on that last lap was definitely not the play. We just need to take sips on this 5th lap.
faceplant. The side about something, if you're recording that through OBS, is this share screen gonna show up on the screen? Because that's not technically the,
Everything that's showing up on my TV is currently showing up on OBS.
Oh, so there's just this off to the side, I
Yeah,
guess.
well, it's also to the point where I literally made another scene and switched my cartuber avatar off to that little, like, empty gray space underneath where your screen is.
Mm.
And then mirrored it, even though it would kind of make me off model. Because the fender stripes are always on the driver's side, and now they're technically on the passenger side.
It's like those fake Initial D fans that put the Tofu Shop logo on the wrong door
Or
or
on
mirror
both
it.
doors. And then there's also the added touch of whenever you talk, so does on-screen me. Oh, fuck. It's alright, we can pretend that at one point there is a Japanese domestic market SVT Cobra R that was right-hand drive. Either that or Australia. Or England. Probably more Australia than England, though. Okay, we are changing to... Actually, let's do racing mediums.
With these fucking card arts, I swear to God.
Car what?
Card arts.
Hmm.
Just a picture of Hanamaru dressed as a tree.
Nyum. No rain just yet. Interesting. I'm still half expecting it.
You always have to, because the second you stop thinking about it, something's gonna happen.
Hey, yep. We've had 3 different types of vehicles at Le Mans. We've had cars, we've had airplanes. Last thing we need is boats. I don't think they'd ever put the Mercedes CLR in this game, but hopefully they do something to make sure the car doesn't generate lift. That silver time on the online time trial with the Scirocco is getting awfully close to my time.
Last I checked, mine was gold, but that's probably changed because I got there before Jetta Racing did.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I didn't spend a super long time on it, so... And not only that, but I also saved the best lap replay, so I could literally just... driver mod that again. Until I shave off enough seconds where I'm very comfortably in silver. I'm at least happy I'm at like a skill level where I can reliably get silver on those things. Well, if it was ever going to rain on this race, I probably would have done so at the very beginning when it was shitty and cloudy, but it is getting sunnier and sunnier. I wonder if DC is going to put down a time for the weekly challenge. Seems like he's juggling a whole bunch of other shit.
typical. I'm missing the one card. I need to blow this thing up. Of course.
Hey, look, a shiny Pokemon. I love how it's very patiently waiting for you to, like... No, I'll wait.
I mean, of course, this is a JRPG.
Well, at the very least, an RPG that's rigidly
Not
turn-based instead of timer-based.
You know, the Ryza games are like that.
Timer-based?
Should. Yeah, you just. I don't know I don't remember what they call them, but yeah, they are on like a timer. The enemy will not wait for you.
Mm-hmm. I always found that silly about RPGs. The fact that your enemy will literally just sit there very patiently, waiting for you to contemplate your next move, and then you very patiently, you know, roll the dice to see if you're able to dodge his attack or not.
Interesting concept. You hurt yourself, but you gain energy. That just sounds like a stimulus shot of some kind. I don't think the FIA would have allowed that racing line, but...
Well, the FIA abandoned Gran Turismo a long time ago.
I was also about to say, well, then again, also, that chicane wasn't even here when this car would have raced, so... This car is the reason that chicane is there. Sure, I think it's actually the C9 Mercedes, it's the reason, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, that'd be next year. I reckon this is... I think this is the 88, 9... I forget what number jumble Porsche assigned this one.
962C.
Yeah, there you go.
Fighting games and German car brands, both, they're convoluted ass fucking number letter codes for basic things.
Yeah, the moment we start getting out of, like, production car territory with Porsches, I'm instantly lost. Well, the rear tires are starting to get very pissy with me, so maybe I should have done racing cards.
I also love how the brain dead strategy of Twisted Metal technically works here, where if you're using a weapon of some description that can hurt you, say, for example, Shadow's special, you can just use a shield and then just detonate it in your face. It doesn't hurt you, but it hurts them.
It's a legit strat in speedrunning TM2 against Darktooth by just like hoarding remote bombs and then boom, 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 boom.
Did you just clear her throat? Is that what that was supposed to be?
No, that was more of a, oh god, I overshot that.
Oh, no. My character, not you.
Oh.
I think they ran out of ideas on that coordinator. No, both of these. We have a card named Diving and a card named Alright.
Draw 2 cards. Alright is Pot of Greed.
Yeah. I'm definitely telling Cam about that one because that's the one thing he came up with was like, for some reason, tended on running through banned cards and Yu-Gi-Oh, and that was the first one that came up, and it was just like, yeah, there are draw cards, and although there are no limitations placed on them because that would just kind of go against the point of the game, it's PvE.
Well, it's also just like, that's also a card that has a running joke attached to it because of the fucking anime and the subsequent abridged series that made fun of it. Where everyone's like, nobody even knows what Pot of Greed does, and then meanwhile in the actual show, literally every time anybody plays it, they explain that this allows me to draw 2 cards, and that is every single fucking time it shows up. So I was like, God, how can they ban Pot of Greed? Nobody even knows what it does.
Well, that is technically the literal reason why some tournaments in Smash Ultimate banned Hero.
I do not. Listen, you're talking to somebody who grew up with Smash 64.
So, Hero, as in the hero from Dragon Quest, his specialty thing, because every DLC character has some kind of special gimmick going on. His down special basically brings up a, more or less a spell, like a spell list menu, like you would see in a JRPG, that will randomly select 4 spells out of like a pool of, say, I would think like 30. These range from everything from just like, hey, here's a big explosion to here's a slow traveling projectile that has a chance to just instantly KO you if it hits you, and the chances of it doing so are increased the higher your percentage is. So at 0%, it has a 1% chance of instantly KOing, but if you're over 100, you are just dead. Zoom, which literally just takes you from wherever you are on the level and just brings you right back to center stage for free. He has spells that buff his attack speed, movement speed, damage. The reason that the hero was banned was because this menu, you know, the text is on the screen,